There's something deeply unsettling about a murder that's never solved. No arrest, no trial, no final answers. Just fragments of evidence, terrified witnesses, and families left staring at a question that never goes away. Tonight, we're diving into two unsolved murder mysteries. The first one is disturbingly recent, caught on camera in a place where no one expected violence. The second one takes us back to more than 50 years, to a killer who seemed to want to be remembered. Lock your doors, turn down the lights. Let's begin. The murder of Missy Bevers. In the early morning hours of April 18, 2016, in the quiet town of Midlothian, Texas, a woman named Terry Missy Bevers arrived at a local church. Missy was a fitness instructor. That morning, she was scheduled to lead an early workout class, the kind attended by people who wanted to exercise before the sunrise, before work, before the world fully woke up. Security footage shows Missy entering the church just before 5 a.m., but she never left. What investigators would later discover is one of the most eerie pieces of surveillance footage ever released to the public, because someone was already inside. Just under an hour before Missy arrived, cameras captured a long figure wandering the church's hall. They were dressed head to toe in police-style tactical gear: helmet, vest, gloves, boots. Their face was completely obscured. They moved slowly, casually, not like someone in a hurry. At times, the figure used a tool, believed to be a hammer, to break glass doors despite other doors being unlocked. They didn't appear to steal anything. They didn't rush. They didn't seem lost. Instead, they wandered, almost like they were waiting. What unsettled investigators most wasn't just the disguise. It was the body language. The odd gait, the relaxed, almost playful way the figure swung the tool, as if they had all the time in the world. When Missy entered the church, the cameras didn't capture the attack itself, but what they did record was the aftermath. Missy was found dead inside the building, killed by blunt force trauma and puncture wounds. There were signs of a struggle. She fought hard. Police believe Missy surprised the intruder, or the intruder was lying in wait for her. That question has never been answered. From the beginning, investigators explored multiple possibilities. Was this a random burglary gone wrong? Unlikely. Nothing was taken, and the disguise was far too specific. Was this a targeted attack? Possibly. Missy was in the middle of a divorce. She had personal relationships that investigators examined closely. Her husband was out of town at the time, and while he was scrutinized heavily by the public, police never named him as a suspect. Another theory suggests the killer mistook Missy for someone else, perhaps expecting a different person to arrive. But then there's the footage, the gear, the calmness, the confidence. Whoever this person was, they didn't panic. They didn't flee after the murder. They vanished. Years later, the case remains open. The identity of the figure in the tactical gear has never been confirmed. No arrest, no charges. Just a haunting video of someone walking the halls in a church, moments before committing murder. And somewhere out there, the person who killed Missy Bevers knows they were captured on camera, yet they've never been found. More than half a century ago, a killer began hunting couples across Northern California. Unlike most murderers, he didn't hide. He wrote letters. He taunted police. And he demanded attention. To this day, no one knows who he was. He called himself the Zodiac. In December of 1968, teenagers David Ferretti and Betty Lou Jensen were shot and killed in a secluded road. Months later, another couple was attacked in a parked car. The man survived, and the killer spoke. He calmly called the police and reported the crime, providing details only the murderer could know. Soon after, newspapers received letters. Inside were cryptograms, coded messages, threats. The writer claimed responsibility for the murders and promised more if his letters weren't published. The papers complied. Over the years, the Zodiac sent dozens of letters. Some included pieces of victims' clothing as proof. Others contained elaborate ciphers. One message famously stated that killing people was better than hunting animals, because humans were more fun. In one letter, he claimed he was collecting slaves for the afterlife. Whether that was belief or delusion, no one knows. Some ciphers have been solved, others remain a mystery. A killer in plain sight. The Zodiac didn't just kill in secret. In one case, he attacked a couple at a lakeside in broad daylight. Witnesses saw him, spoke to him, yet descriptions varied, and every suspect fell apart under scrutiny. Over the decades, dozens of names have been proposed, none proven. The letters stopped in the mid-1970s. Some believe the Zodiac died. Others think he was imprisoned for a different crime, or that he simply chose to stop. What makes the Zodiac terrifying isn't just the body count. It's the idea that he was never caught, that he may have lived a normal life, watching the panic he created from a distance. The letters stopped in the mid-1970s. Some believe the Zodiac died. Others think that he was imprisoned for a different crime, or that he simply chose to stop. What makes the Zodiac terrifying isn't just the body count. It's the idea that he was never caught, that he may have lived a normal life, watching the panic he created from a distance. Two killers, two eras, one truth. Some mysteries never end. Someone somewhere knows what happened in that church in Texas. Someone somewhere knew the man who called himself Zodiac. And until that truth comes out, these stories remain unfinished.